Hi, I'm Janice Kephart and welcome to Border Basics. In this two-part series, I'm going to discuss controversial secure ID legislation known as the Real ID law and try to explain why it shouldn't be controversial at all. I'm going to explain the key factual and policy background of where secure ID legislation came from and try to put some myths behind us. One of the biggest myths out there is that secure ID law has no basis in national security. My main emphasis is to explain why the September 11 Commission made the recommendation that not just the federal government, but the states as well, have a role to play in national security. States need to assure that people of bad intent, like the 9/11 hijackers, are not able to easily obtain state-issued driver's licenses and IDs. By way of background, I come to my conclusions as a former immigration counsel to the September 11 Commission. I was responsible for determining how the September 11 hijackers got in and stayed in our country. My team and I were responsible for writing the September 11 Commission monograph, September 11 and Terrorist Travel. Before that, I did terrorism, immigration, and identity security work in the U.S. Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Terrorism. And today I am Director of National Security Policy at the Center for Immigration Studies. The 19 September 11 hijackers used a total of 30 driver's licenses and IDs from multiple states to embed in the United States, including slipping away from law enforcement when stopped for speeding in the days preceding September 11, and assuring that on the morning of 9/11, when they checked in at airports outside of Washington, D.C. and Boston, they would not be checked through federal watch lists, which could have occurred if they had presented passports instead of state-issued IDs, and could have stopped two hijackers who were on watch lists. In total, the September 11 hijackers got 17 driver's licenses and 13 state-issued IDs amongst them. The two World Trade Center pilots, including the operational head of the attacks, Mohammed Atta, each had Florida driver's licenses. One of them had two, claiming he had lost the first. The pilot that crashed into the Pentagon, Hani Hanjour, had 3 different IDs from 3 different states and an Arizona driver's license. In addition, there was an actual operation in place to get IDs in Virginia for hijackers who were boarding planes in Virginia in order to make them look like assimilated Virginia residents. On August 1, 2001, the Pentagon pilot Hanjour, who had already had 2 state-issued IDs, solicited an illegal Salvadorian immigrant at a 7-Eleven in Northern Virginia and bribed him to certify that the hijackers lived at the illegal alien's old Virginia address. This same residency information was recycled for use by 3 other hijackers between August 1 and August 2, 2001. The Pennsylvania pilot, Ziad Jarrah, also used the same residency certification obtained from the bribed Salvadorian on August 29, 2001. Then another illegal immigrant and a lawful permanent resident were also convicted of supplying false documents to 2 other hijackers who were also able to obtain Virginia IDs on August 2, 2001. In addition, 6 hijackers in July 2001, prior to obtaining the legitimate IDs, obtained fake USA ID cards just to make sure they had some kind of US ID in case the August operation to get legitimate state-issue IDs failed. This was just another example of the hijackers using basic fraud to obtain IDs and further their operation. This is Janice Kephart for Border Basics.